hello and now I want to say in German. Thank you for your time today. I'm here with the Gutter Puppets, from London, UK. I'm really happy to have you guys because you're exactly my kind of music, what I like. So can you please introduce yourself and say who you are, what you're doing in the band, and what kind of music you're doing, and a little bit about your musical background. So let's start with that, and then we see where we will go.
Okay, I'll start. I'm Hex Actus. I am like the vocalist and producer of the band, so I do like the synthy kind of stuff as well. The kind of vibe that we go for really is kind of different. We don't want to do the same song kind of twice, but it's a lot of the time there is a strong industrial kind of feel to it. Obviously metal, like with all the guitars, that's what the guitars bring. We're like a duo, so it's like quite heavily electronic, but with also like guitars and stuff like that, and like sometimes metalish vocals, sometimes whatever the fuck else it is. As like background, I started with guitar. I did music production in uni, and then that's kind of like when I switched over. I think I played guitar for like 6-7 years, something like that. But personally, I kind of like stopped with that and went more into like Ableton and
Okay.
synthesis and stuff like that. I started off with like things like Logic, but Ableton kind of consumed me.
Okay.
I think that's it for me, I think.
Yeah, I'm Alessa Dusk. I play guitar and I do the background vocals in Gutter Puppets. I guess I've always been playing guitar since I was like 4, because like my granddad was like a jazz musician, so he kind of got me a guitar quite early. Didn't really know what I was doing for a good many years, but I got to where I am now, which isn't very far.
That's what you say.
I always liked writing songs more than like shredding guitar. So like I think when I say like I've had a guitar since I was like 4, a lot of people tend to think, oh yeah, cool, like Eddie Van Halen, cool. And I'm not really about that. I like in Gutter Puppets, sometimes the guitars can be quite simple, or like emphasizing the electronics and not like showing off. Because I'd rather write a good song than a shred and solo.
It's a really good point because for me, as a listener, it's always what the song needs to
Song
have.
first, always.
Exactly, always song first. Like your last song, where you put on out of a video, Jam. It's basic. The riff is very simple. It's kind of as far as I can tell, 2 notes most of the time. But it works. And this is exactly what it is.
What's fun about that is the electronics actually came first for that, and then I just fattened it up with the guitar, and it just bangs, basically.
And I like
this
pretty
is much one riff.
Exactly, and this is exactly what I like. As you know, I talk with a lot of artists, and sometimes it's so artists really are so insecure they need to show off what they can do, and like you just said, Van Halen and what you can shred, and also, but they kind of forget that they make music for people out there, and not bashing on people, but not everyone wants to be the prog rock thing where you change the tempo every 3 seconds and stuff to show how well you can play. They just want a cool song where they can jam to and and bang their head, and this is also that's also a gift, if you can make a simple song or a simple riff sound heavy and good, without being that it's boring. And this is Yum is I just watched it again. It's a really cool song, and it works just as it is. What I was a little bit that's why I asked also for your backstory, because for me, from all the thing I could gather, and this was not much, let me tell you, you have 4 songs out so far, and
Yeah.
and that's it. So you just came onto the scene. I mean, you hit the ground running, as far as I can tell. But this tells me you're not coming from nowhere. Whereas can you maybe let's make it more precise. How did you guys meet, and how did you end up starting the band Gutter Puppets?
Yeah, Hex, how did we meet?
He always gives me shit for this because I don't remember the night that we met.
Oh,
It was a gig. I think it was like While She Sleeps and Feed the Rhino.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, we apparently met. I remember meeting his best friend, and we got talking to him, and I was looking for musicians to like start a band with, and he said he was a bassist, so I was like, all right, cool, I'm interested. And then apparently I ended up meeting Lessa, and didn't remember it, but then we kind of got to talking over time, and then we actually ended up making Gutter Puppets.
We had a very
Uh,
similar interest in like music.
mhm.
Like our musical interest when we first met was pretty much identical.
Yeah,
I think over
but-
time we've split off, like, but I think that's kind of shows in our music as well. Like when we first started Gutter Puppets, like we were both playing guitar and it was way more rocky. And then when Hex started doing the sort of electronic stuff, I don't know, we didn't need two guitarists. So
no.
didn't need a bass player or a drummer either. Like,
yeah, that's also. So was it a conscious decision to not have a full band? Let's put it this way. So it's just the two of you, or was it just because you have enough energy for a whole, I don't know, show or whatever? I mean, was it a conscious decision, or was it just like, well, let's see if we add them later?
We tried, and it didn't really work for us. So we kind of gave it a go with just us two. And then the last show that we played was like the first show that we played just us two. And of all of them, really, it felt right. We've always been really the main writing forces behind it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels comfortable already anyway because it's how we would write the music. So we just kind of like went with it, and I'm personally like a lot happier with it, to be honest. So
yeah,
It feels
that
right.
show was weird because it was like, we became the duo, but we still had a show booked, but we didn't have the set worked out. So we were kind of going into the show like, is it gonna work? Is it not? Like we were like, it should be all right, be all right. And then like we did the show, and like it just felt like, yeah, this is how it should have always been. Like
yeah.
it worked, and like then like lockdown happened like a month later, and I'm so glad we managed to do that show because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that was really a game changer because I don't know, you can do stuff in the studio and like that's cool. But knowing that we could do it live and it worked and people liked it. And no, I don't remember getting the question once, where's the rest of the band? Like
Yeah, no,
so
one
it
really
was
asked.
just
No
like,
one-
yeah,
no
of
one really
course.
asked.
Like
Mm-hmm.
So it was like a good, important thing for us to do, and it felt more right. And having like really electronic drums for me was always like quite important, rather than like live drums and loads of drum fills, like overcomplicating things like that. Which is why like I was so happy to do Yum because it was just like just kind of straight to the point, ignorant, kind of stupid song, which like worked well. And I've always really liked duos. I've like almost have like a fetish for them.
Mm-hmm.
So like it was something that I was quite happy to bring about, really.
And
yeah.
I mean, while we're on the subject, so how did you do it then? You have backing tracks, or like if you use Ableton? I don't know much about Ableton, but I know they have Ableton Live, where you can also
Yeah.
do live things, like I don't know, sequences and stuff. So how do you do it? You have like a backing track where you play to, or you produce it live, kind of, with the stem. I don't, I never really used it. I know just theoretically how it's set up.
There's some aspects which are played, and then some aspects which are back and track. Like for me to be doing like playing in the drums the whole time, the whole time whilst also like doing some other synth part and like being the front man, it would just
Yeah.
be hell, and I wouldn't really get to focus on the show. So for things like drums, they are playing off a back and track. I can have them playing off of something that's like actually, producing the sound, but if it's playing itself already, I don't really see the point of that. It's just taking CPU up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. And the other question I have, because like you have you have, let's suppose, normal bands before.
Mhm.
How is it with, because what I see in a normal band, the advantage of having a real band is that you just, you take a look around, and when you do another chorus or something, and you don't stop the song. If you have a backing track, you have like, it's 4 minutes 30, and then it's gone. Then it's over. So there is no way you can extend it.
I mean, it really wouldn't be hard to like, if we pre-prepare, like it would be like a button click, and then we can
Okay,
start any
okay.
section we want really.
So you
It's
still
not
have a
anything
live capability, basically, to.
Yeah, like if
Okay.
that's what we wanted to do for a certain thing, then it
Mm.
really wouldn't be hard. It would just
There's
be
still a
like,
lot of live elements. Like
Mhm.
there's still bass guitar as well. Like I'm doing like a sort of Royal Blood style pitch shifting setup. So I'll be switching back and forth between bass and guitar both at the same time. Vocals are still coming through live. There's still a lot of electronics like actually being played by Hex as well. But we do also want to perform. Like
Mhm.
yeah.
we
So
like
the
we
drums
like
are
getting in the
like,
crowd and like getting in people's faces. Like that's
mm,
something we've always done, even when we were like a
Yeah,
full
yeah.
band.
No, that's a good point, because this is then the advantage of having a backing track, that you kind of, you're in time, you do, it's right, and you can entertain more, you can do the posing more, in the pre-talk. I already told you, this is why I always want to get to know the people I listen to their music, because you have a very strong image, and and for all the listeners out there, I will link to the to the making of Yum, because it's very funny to see the behind the scenes footage of it, because the video itself is quite gory and fetishy, and kind of, you're playing with some let's not, don't get it wrong, with some stereotypes, like the leather, latex, and stuff, and that's cool. But behind the scenes footage kind of puts it in a different light. I really like that. And this is one of the reasons why I want to talk with you. And you kind of already dissembled yourself, and make you more, how you say, accessible. Because sometimes some of the rock stars have such a huge persona or ego, that you're kind of like, can I talk to them? And hello, sir. And you're like, "Brrr," and you get
not very
something back.
approachable.
No,
Sorry, we're not approachable either. But, you
Yeah.
know.
Oh, okay. Sorry for having asked you. No, it's. So I have to admit, as I told you, I'm a little bit not so well prepared today. So how long are the gutter puppets around? Because you're quite a new. I know now that you don't know when you really met. Okay, I'm not gonna ask again. But so, how long have been the gutter puppets around? So, just give me a timeline.
Like
So,
as a band, we started performing. I don't
we
know when. You're
it was
better.
it was 2017 we put out like a demo, like still as a full band. We did shows for like, I mean, we did shows from like 2017 like right up to before lockdown, like just kind of like cutting our teeth really. We didn't really put much stuff out because no, we just were in a place so we weren't really there with it yet. Like we were still working it all out. We put out the single in 2019 with still as a full band, but it wasn't really it just never worked out like that.
Mm. Everything
we've
moved a lot slower as well, which
we've
is
put more out in the past like 2 months than we ever did as a full band.
Yeah.
I'm also grateful for that time because like I really enjoyed playing those shows, and I feel like we still learn a lot in that time. Like we wouldn't really be doing it as we are now if that didn't happen either. So it's like you can't really have one without the other.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I reckon 2017 is when things like started actually moving along.
Okay. Yeah. This was kind of my intention of a question, because I wanted to know. I mean, don't get me wrong, guys. I'm really happy that I found you, but it's now 2021 and you have 4 songs out. For me, findable. So I was like, okay, what's going on here? I mean, either they're really slow, or something else happened, or
A lot of things happened.
okay, yeah.
It was trying to find drummers was like the biggest pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was just like so many things happened that slowed the whole process down. Which is kind of like why we did what we did and became a duo, and things have been moving along a lot quicker since. So.
And are you involved in other projects or something, so that it's kind of a side project for you, Gutter Puppets, or is this your main focus, music
This is
wise?
definitely my main focus.
Okay.
I do have like another project that I'm working on, but God of Puppets is gonna be like the main focus.
Okay. So I can assume then that in the next few months, weeks, years, I'm talking with you, years, there will be more material out, I hope.
Yeah,
At least 3 more this year.
Oh,
So,
cool.
At least 3 more this year.
Yeah. We during like the whole Corona business, we've been kind of going in and out of the studio recording stuff.
Been difficult to kind of finish everything with like the studios keep shutting down, or like you're allowed in but one person at a time. We're like, well, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
but
so
Do it as we
we've
can.
got stuff in the works, and there should be tracks coming pretty soon.
Quite far along.
Definitely. Yeah.
okay,
Pretty soon.
perfect, good. So maybe, okay, you already alluded a little bit to it, but how is your usual song work? I mean, how do you work on a song, from the conception of an idea to the finished product? How the two of you get along, and as you are as you're both guitar guys, I guess he's sorry, I didn't get your names really. So one is Hex, that's the singer, right? That's you, okay.
That's
And
I'm a lesser.
Lesser, okay, Lesser. Okay, sorry, Lesser. So can you just walk me through how a song from the inception to the end product works for you? With the back and forth and putting in the vocals and the styling.
It changed a lot in the past year, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
It used to be very much like guitar riffs first, electronics, a very like generic way of writing a song with electronics, really. But over the past like year, it's almost like flipped on its head. Like electronics are kind of coming first more recently.
I've got a lot more into beat making, so I've just been like making beats, and sometimes I'll make one where I'm just like, okay, this could be a God Puppets thing. I'll send it to Lessa, and then we'll just like send it back and forth. Like he'll probably write some guitars in it, and then like I'll listen back, fuck around with it a bit more, that kind of thing, really.
Okay. And you have some friends who you let it listen to, or are you going for a certain? Because for me, I like your style, but I cannot really define what it is. I mean, it has it's. I hesitate to say genre fluid, because I'm talking with a lot of guys and a lot of, nobody wants to bog down. Oh, I'm doing this and I'm doing only that, and I'm fine with that. And, it's cool to be open-minded. But can you, maybe let's start with this. Can you define the the genre you would give to gutter puppets, even if it's, I know it's a bad question, but sometimes you need a little bit of labeling to just say, okay, is it for me or not?
It's kind of hard. Like anytime we ask it, it kind of goes like, I don't fucking know, really. But it's like where a lot of the inspiration comes from is like the scene that we are in London, like and there's quite a big scene in London, so it's just like the different kind of events that we go to, the different kind of things we see here. We'll take inspiration from that, and also like the other music that we listen to. There's there's like such a clusterfuck of different things that it's, I don't know how to describe it really personally. I don't want to give you that answer because that is like the most dead end answer, but it's honestly like a lot of the time, if you want to boil it down, there's like industrial stuff in there. There's like kind of, it's like an industrial metal thing with like more electronics maybe than usual, but also kind of not. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I
I
apologize for
don't
this
spend a lot of
question.
time I
It's-
don't need to apologize, but it's something that I never really known how to answer.
The thing is, every band is always like, we don't sound like anything else. It's fresh, original. It's not even like that. It's just like, I don't know. I don't know.
We don't really think about it a lot.
The thing is, when you listen to industrial rock and industrial metal, it doesn't exactly sound like this.
Mhm.
So you can call it industrial rock or industrial metal, but then like, doesn't really sound like any of those bands. Like,
Yeah, that's true, and that's the what I really like. It's in a way it's fresh. It's kind of. I just recently talked with a friend about it because I usually dislike music where I can listen to like 30 seconds of a song and I know exactly, okay, and then comes the drop down and then comes this. Then you already have it laid out. You already know what's going to happen, and it's boring. And this doesn't apply to you at all. On the other hand, sometimes I don't mind, like if you have a nice gothic riff, for example, or like old Sisters of Mercy stuff, where you know exactly the song will not change. It will, for 8 minutes, it will go with this riff, and it's cool as well, And when it's kind of flipped on the head, when I say, okay, I like the boring thing, I like that I can perceive where it will go. And what I would say was, and with you, I really don't know where it will go. you flip it on the head, but in a good way. You kind of engaging, and you have all the elements I like. That's why I'm really happy that I can talk with you. Thank you again for your time, because this is exactly what I'm looking for. My only issue, and that's why I ask this question, is I'm also a radio DJ. You might not know that, but and I get a lot of music sent, so I have to put up barriers, and that's why I'm always asking. I wanted to know from you specifically how you would call it, because maybe I can, my sieve I have put in a few more holes so that I don't miss something like you, because sometimes I know there is music out there I would like, which I don't get because I'm kind of not too strict.
I feel like that's something that kind of goes against us sometimes, to be honest. Like especially like shows, like sometimes people want you to just fit in a box.
Mhm.
Like when we play shows, we always end up on like metal shows, and like you just kind of stick out a bit, which is a good thing, but also is a bad thing because you kind of want to start making fans, and maybe some people just are into the regular metal thing,
Mhm.
which is
I remember-
fine. It doesn't help us that
Yeah,
much.
you also could play at a techno event, kind of yeah, no, it would be cool, with the ravers or something. You would also go down well, but when this is the cool thing. You can basically fit in a lot of different shows, but it's also a bad thing because you are in a way niche, and I don't mean it in a bad way. You have your kind of your own thing, your own bubble.
Yeah.
The way I see Gutter Puppets is like really ideally, I would like us to be able to play like a gig, but also a club event too. You know, if
Hmm.
it's the right kind of club event. Um, that's something that genuinely really interests me, and I think it's good to be like that kind of versatile for us because it would work with those kind of crowds as well. Obviously, the more underground kind of gothy clubs, but clubs nonetheless. You know.
And so maybe let's stick with this. What's your? I mean, at the moment, I guess UK is doing quite well with pandemic. You know, you get a lot of shots, and so you're slowly opening up, right? As far as I
Slowly,
know.
very slowly. Yeah.
So I guess no concerts in the near future, but there's light at the end of a tunnel. Um, so how do you go about? You have like a promotion agency, or how do you go? You already mentioned a couple of times that you're quite into your scene, but I'm far away, so I've never been to London, so I don't know. How do you get about to get shows, and also are you in talk with a label or something or a promotional agency to help you, get some more traction?
The organizational stuff, Les is a lot better at, so I'm gonna let him answer that.
Thanks. I don't know. People hit us up. It's kind of eerie. It's just like through friends. We're trying to sort of like on the back of these singles, like try and reach out a bit more. I think in the past we've always kind of just like done things on our own very much. So, and over the next like year or two, I'd really like to kind of start branching out a lot more. So there's no like labels or like real booking agencies involved at this point, but that's something that we're sort of beginning to look at, so we can start branching out.
Hmm. And have you as a lot of artists do online shows or something? Have you considered this, or is it not viable? I mean, I don't know. I guess you have more songs because when you have a live show, you didn't only play 4 songs, right? There was more
No, we
than
have a
4 songs.
bunch more songs. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so you just didn't bring them out, all of them. So
Mhm.
have you considered some online shows or something like that?
Whenever people mention it to me, it makes me kind of go like, "Hey," you
Yeah,
know.
I'm also not a big fan of it, but I just wanted to know because at the moment, as we stand still and world is on pause, so better than nothing, or make it a live rehearsal or something like this.
With our kind of setup, it probably would be a lot easier than it is for a lot of bands. So it's not like something I would completely go like, no, we'll never do that. But it's also something that like, anytime that we did talk about it, it just didn't really feel like the right kind of thing. But I don't know, with the right approach, it could be possible. But it's not something that we've fully like yet considered. But
Hmm.
like we both have been messing around on Twitch and stuff like that, kind of like getting to know like what streaming is like really and stuff like that. And it's interesting and it's cool and there's a lot of things to be done on there, and it's probably an avenue worth exploring, but not one we've explored yet, basically.
Hmm. Yeah, no, we don't have to talk about live is something else, if you're really in front of an audience and you can smell the people and, the
You
spilled
can
beer
smell
and
them.
all this stuff. So we don't have to, there's real energy there. So, yeah, anyway, it's just, we live in very strange times. But,
Yeah.
just today, I usually try to stay away from this whole pandemic talk because it's boring, I mean, we're in it for a year now. But just
Mm.
today I thought, in a year or 2 years or something, we will think back of this and do you remember back then there was this day and blah, 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 and we all were wearing masks and stuff. So in a way, it's cool that we are gonna live through that and hopefully live to tell the tale. So it's okay. But yeah. Anyway, um, with your video for Yum, you have shown that it's quite you have quite some humor and stuff. Um, And I saw, of course, because of behind the scenes that you did it mostly on your own, as far as I can tell. So is there more to come, or is there also more video content? Because, as you know, today you have to be present on a lot of different venues and stuff. I personally couldn't find a website from you, a dedicated website for gutter puppets. But I'm old-fashioned, I like it's just me. I know it's not needed anymore today, but you need to exist for the world to know. So, what's in the works there, if there's something in the works?
I mean, videos is always fun to do. It's something that I've enjoyed for a while, and it's like my second love to music. So we'll definitely be doing videos all the time, really, as much as we can, to be honest.
Gonna do another in the studio one next week. Come out next week. Of us actually recording Yum.
Oh yeah, there's one of us recording Yum as well. But as far as music videos go, we'll definitely do more. We haven't really picked the next one to do a music video for. We kind of just when the track really sounds like it needs a music video, then we'll make one for it. But the next one, I'm not sure, but probably maybe after we release the next two, because we're gonna go with singles for now. We're not really gonna be releasing EPs or albums.
All these songs were meant to be an EP, and then we kind of made the decision to fuck that. Let's not do that. And I'm really glad we didn't do that as well.
I'm genuinely enjoying just outputting a song here and there, kind of thing like that.
But you still could make an EP, because as you know, I talk with a lot of people, and I think in this thing you're absolutely right. Putting out a lot of singles, because there's always, the algorithm and, the fans who follow you. There's always something new to tell and a new song. But I don't, I would not pass on the EP, because this, you're putting out single. And let's say you have out 5 singles, and then you put on an EP and have a live track on it. It's just another release you can have. And for the people on Spotify or all these streaming services, it doesn't really matter if it's on this EP. It's just an imaginary virtual thing anyway, right? As long as you are not out there and handing out CDs or something. So you have one more, and you can put on a bonus track, I don't know, an acoustic track of Yum or a live version of something.
Can you imagine?
It could be cool, I mean, it's
Yum
just
acoustic version, that would be fucking hilarious.
You asked me to do all this weird shit.
I think it wouldn't. It's just a suggestion, The thing is just you would gain one more thing you can advertise basically on, And as far as I hate, there's a love-hate relationship for me with this news media today, On one thing, it's really cool, like we're doing now, I can talk with you in the UK, and later on I put it on YouTube, and potentially millions of people could watch it. That's really cool. We have these tools. On the other hand, it's kind of everyone has these tools, and you have to use it. And this was also alluding to my question earlier with how you would define your style, because everyone can make music, and some people just put things together on their phones and distribute it, and then it's on Spotify, and then we send it to you, and you have to. I, as a DJ, have to work through a lot of crap to find the good stuff, So it has both. It's as good and it's bad. But yeah, I learned it's kind of like you can complain about the system, but you still have to live with it, and so make the best out of it. It doesn't change because you're whining about it. So I don't want to whine. So anyway, my point is you're doing it right, as far as I know. So what do I know? But you can
I
have
don't know
one
either.
exactly. But
We're
you can have one
stupidly
more.
independent. I hate it.
No, and that's cool. That's cool. Just today, because I work for an IT company, and today we had a meeting about our your social media presence and stuff, and we have a social media person on there, and we talked about it, and she said, she can clearly see if somebody puts out content just for the algorithm. And this works, so the algorithm picks it up, and there's more followers and more blah 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 blah. But this doesn't mean this is good content, and you can also argue this is what we're doing here. As I started my show, a lot of people say, nobody's going to watch this. Who has an hour to watch talking about whatever comes in your head and stuff, and make little 3-minute clips, and then I can put it in your radio show and whatever. But I was like, no, I want to talk about. I would listen to it. So there is somebody for this. There's the other way of doing it. Fuck the algorithm and just do what you like and do it in the way you like it. And I feel like this is the more sustainable because you're doing what you want anyway. And in the better way, because the content is more authentic, you're not like, you guys are not, but sometimes on Instagram, you can see these things like, oh man, this is the third shot per day of your face or whatever, and duck face and stuff. This is so silly. So post only what you really feel like, I don't want to know what you had for dinner or lunch or something. I don't care. But if you have something to say, post it. And then it has more impact, even if the algorithm is maybe not happy with you. Fuck the algorithm. Okay, my family just came home. I'm going to close my door now, so I'm not getting disturbed. But if you want to say something, I'm going to listen to you.
Oh, you listen. Okay. I mean, as far as like you were talking about like doing like hour-long content and stuff like that, that's got like a pretty strong place in YouTube anyway. So long-form content is like it's quite important to YouTube either way. I don't know how much against the algorithm that is, to be honest, because there's a lot of it and there's a lot of views on it. And if anything, YouTube like tends to push that kind of stuff more a lot of the time.
We're quite conflicted between always like, we haven't posted anything in fucking forever. But also like, what are we gonna post? Like, there's just not anything that we want to post about right now. And like, I remember like when we did the single before Satisfaction a couple of years back, I think we posted about it like 3 or 4 times a week for like a month. And after the month was over, we're like, oh my god, it's like beating a dead horse, bro.
So sick of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, once the shows and stuff kick in like that gives you a lot more content to post between releases and stuff like that. And which is why also like Les has been doing the kind of like basically what he does is like plants a GoPro somewhere in the room, and then we do our thing, and then
it'll be on all day.
He has
and
to
then I have
dig
to sit
through
through.
like hours and
Poor
hours
you.
and days and weeks of footage.
Luckily, we're really
Somewhere in
funny, so it's not that hard to
I also
find
like
quality.
I also liked
Exactly.
you did this in your behind the scenes thing. The time how we say it, the time frame? No, the time when you make it faster. I forgot.
Time lapse.
Oh, the time
The
lapse.
time lapse. It was really funny, like and stuff. Like, it was cool. Yeah, this is. Yeah. Anyway, but I'm completely with you because in the past I was also like, I knew I need to post something, so I was making pictures of the sky and like, who's gonna check what's my sky looking like, and because just I say
Already
good
the same
morning.
as mine, I imagine.
I'm
You're right. This is the UK. It'll be grey. My bad.
You're not in Europe. You're not in Europe anymore. So you're completely different.
Exactly.
No. Anyway, with just for me, this is my personal. how are things with being not in Europe anymore? Any effects you're feeling already? Or I mean, if you don't want to talk about it, we don't need to talk about it. Just
I've not noticed anything.
I mean, the world
Like,
shut
I'm
down
so out the
basically
loop.
as soon as it happened. So it's not like I could go to Europe anyway if I wanted to right now. I mean, there's like bigger import tax actually. My friend got like hit with like a 90 quid import tax or something,
okay.
and like he had no idea about it until his thing showed up, and it was like brilliant. 90 quid for what? Like
Hmm.
I could have ordered this like a year and a half ago. I wouldn't have been hit with that 90 quid tax, but other than that, I mean, I don't know.
90 quid is what? It's how many
Oh,
pounds?
90 pounds.
90
90
pounds.
pounds.
Oh, 90 pounds. Okay.
Quid.
Okay.
Squid.
Okay. Yeah,
Quid,
I heard
quid.
this before, but I was never really sure if it's maybe another metric for whatever.
It's
I
just
say 90
slang.
bucks, isn't it?
90 bucks. Okay. Okay. 90 pounds. Yeah. And that's a lot. 90 pounds is it's quite a lot.
I mean,
Yeah.
to get tax on a delivery, probably, yeah.
Hmm.
It's pretty lame. But I have no strong feelings about it personally, really.
Hmm. Yeah, we don't need to go
Not
there.
yet,
You know,
you don't.
it's. But I hope, you know, because for me, I'm not far away from Leipzig. If you know this place, you know, there's a Wave Gothic Treffen. You might have heard of. And no,
No.
what?
I've never been to Germany, so not yet. I will
Okay,
go one
you
day.
We'd
need
like
to.
to come if you'll get us a show, though.
I just wanted to tell you, you know, there's the Wave Gothic meeting. It's in English, Wave Gothic Treffen. That's the biggest one in the whole world, and it takes over the whole city for
I've
3
heard of
days.
that, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Don't tell
It
me
was
you
just the
haven't
name.
heard of
It's
it.
the name. I was like,
Okay,
what the fuck
yeah.
is
It's
happening?
like Whitby Goth weekend as well. in the
Exactly.
But
UK.
yeah, I've been told about that. I think I remember seeing like something on TV about it as well. But like,
Yeah.
I've seen little things about it, but I've never been personally. I've
No,
put
and
myself
you
in
would
it, so.
fit in perfectly there because I mean you know the attire and all the stuff. This is you know this is your place to be. So yeah, this brings me to you know I'm just a little nobody, but I have a radio show and I have my Spotify playlist and stuff. So of course I'm gonna promote the hell out of you because you know I really like
Appreciate
where
it.
you're going. So
Yes.
please also let me know when you are starting shows again because I have a weekly live radio show. I mean this is worldwide, so but I'm pretty sure there's a few UK listeners there, so I can also, you know, say, okay, we got the puppets tonight in London, live. Be there, or you will suffer. In eternity.
As long as you do that voice, I'm happy with it.
I will do that,
I'm
of
down.
course.
Need to sound like that.
I
No,
like that.
no, but honestly, so please, you know, hit me up with your stuff. I think it's very refreshing that you're. I like your slow approach. I mean, we talked about it now, why it was so slow, because, you know, you kind of found yourself, you found your own footing and how you do things. So that's absolutely cool. But yeah, I hope there will be a little bit more.
Of course,
And
no.
yeah, and more shows. And I really would like to see you guys live because I think, you know, yeah. Anyway, I would like to see how it really is. If you have some live footage, I know it's not the same. You know, if you put it on YouTube or something, but you know, please send me the footage. Or yeah, the best case scenario is, of course, you come to this place far away called
I'd
Europe.
love to. I'd love to go to Germany and stuff. You're in Germany, right?
I'm in Germany, yes, and I'm
Yeah,
actually not
I'd love
far
to
away
do that.
from Leipzig. You know, from the Wave Gothic
Okay.
Treffen.
Yeah.
So this would be cool to meet you there because yeah, this is the place to be.
That'd be dope.
Um,
That'd be dope.
Cool. So
As far as for live footage stuff, by the way, there is like stuff on our YouTube, I believe.
Oh, there's a tour video from 2018.
Yeah. There is like some stuff of us playing live on the YouTube, but we haven't got like a whole
Not any,
concert kind of filmed.
not nothing from the duo either. That was when we were still a full band.
I think
Still
Big
looks
Joe, there's like
looks
a
cool,
little
but
clip of like the first version of Yum on our Instagram, I think.
oh yeah.
Yeah, because at that point when we played that gig, I'd only just written the lyrics for Yum. Like, we only just wrote the song basically. All the lyrics just went out my head, so I kind of had to just make shit up on the spot. But that was funny enough.
That's how we knew that Yum was going to be the single, though. Like when we
Yeah,
played
people
that
kept
show,
asking
like
about that song like straight after, and we're
I
like,
didn't think that much of it when we first did it. Well, we had like a 4-song set. We needed like an extra song, um, and we did that really quick. And then like when we played it live, that was the song everyone was talking about. I'm like, I guess that's the single. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, that worked.
yeah.
Yeah. See, yeah, that's the cool thing with playing live. You know, I mean, you have an instant feedback, basically. You know, because sometimes, I guess it's with you like with everyone else, you love all your children, all your songs, kind of, but you love one more and one less. But you never know how we really gonna affect the people, and the crowds are different and stuff. But you just said because I'm about to wrap up a little bit here. But I have you just reminded me. I have a nice question I can ask you because you have been on tour with your band, and even if it's just the duo now, but was there any funny tour antics, some funny things?
Oh, no.
I mean, you can remember because
No, not that
no,
I can
no,
remember.
nothing. Okay, okay, okay. And so,
It's
Plenty
gonna be
of awful
Brighton
things
Beach,
have
isn't it?
happened. No. I mean, like that was just a messy one. There's been like I think as we started our whole like gigging situation, we were like, well, let's just party through every show, and then you realize how much that ends up hurting you. But any like particular stories, really, I don't know. Like there's nothing that sticks out too much out, but there's just like usual havoc. But like the stuff that was caught on camera, it is all on the YouTube. But anything that really sticks out to me, I mean, one weird one was just like when we played a London show and we like packed like 11 people into our little van from the show,
Oh my
okay.
god.
and then we went to some like like those warehouses where people live in,
Mm-hmm.
like those kind of like creatives warehouses. We ended up going to one of those, and that was full of just like people doing their own thing, and then we all arrived there, and it was just
And
it
you
was
crashed the
strange, but
party, basically.
yeah, it was somewhere in like arse end of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was a pretty weird experience, and our our driver at the time, he wasn't very happy, I think, with having like the van that
Yeah.
usually has like 4 people in it, or 5 of us. I think there was like way more than the van should actually be able to fit.
That
So we
van
had
got
to.
abusing. If you look at our tour video, like Hex is just like stood on top of the van, just blaring music out and fun. I woke
Just
up
the
actually in
usual
that
stupid
warehouse
shit.
the next morning. Like I forgot we had come to the warehouse and like everyone was gone. And then I think our driver like stuck his head out from like a weird like I know they were like bunk beds, but like treehouse bunk bed thing.
Yeah, it was like the bedroom was like above the kitchen, but it was like not an actual like real floor bedroom. It was more like a tree house above the kitchen that they ended
Okay.
up falling asleep in. That you have to like climb
So,
down
so we
like a
kind of
ladder.
made a hole in the floors and kind of put floors together or something like this.
No, it was like a fake floor that got made,
Ah, okay.
basically. Like, it was like a little tree house bedroom.
Yeah, I just remember waking up, my cowboy boots still on, sunglasses still on, empty bottle of whiskey. What the
Okay, yeah,
hell?
this sounds a lot like rock and roll. I see.
Yeah, that was a big focus, I think, at the time, is
Hmm.
to
Yeah,
tick
I
those
I
boxes.
guess now you are a little bit more the next tour. you focus maybe a little bit more on the tour and less on the party because
That's the thing, yeah. Because the show after that was it was hard to do.
We always
It's a
have a
lot
bad
harder
time
to
in
do it.
Bristol.
Yeah. By the time we always get to Bristol, it was just like, especially that was like during the summer, and this was like the tiniest little venue, and it was at the top of the venue as well. So it was already like the
so it was
tiniest place I've ever
quite
seen.
hot.
It was
To say the
insanely hot.
least.
Yeah, and there was like barely any space to like stand anywhere. So we ended up climbing it though. That was quite fun. But yeah, there's just there's usual antics that happen, but there's like a vague.
Nice save, bro.
Yeah. I mean, we can swear, but yeah, let's keep it PG-13. And I noticed that YouTube certain things they don't like.
Did I swear?
No, I swear it.
Oh,
I said fucking
Fucking hell,
algorithms.
Hex.
Yeah.
It spills out sometimes.
One last question, and this also kind of will help me a little bit to maybe gauge where you are aiming to or adding. Is where if you could say, and each of one gets a shot, with whom you would perform a live show, who living or dead, who would it be?
I mean, just to please like.
No, what you really feel. I mean, who would you really? You don't have to say, a big name or something. Just
no, but like to please my teenage self will probably be
so,
like
okay.
Murderdolls or something like that.
I see what I was gonna say.
Murderdolls
Murderdolls
was
back in
good.
the original days. Like,
Yeah, that was one of the bands that we really bonded over at first.
Murderdolls.
Yeah, we were both completely obsessed with them.
Okay, so
But
you
that
have
was
both
a
the
really
same
cool one.
answer.
well, that's who I was thinking of. Like, I was thinking like sorry,
Solid
Murderdolls.
sake.
Well, I can't say Marilyn Manson anymore, so I was like,
No,
well,
you can't.
Murderdolls. Yeah.
Okay, Murderdolls. So, Marilyn Manson, just for there was an incident or something. That's why you cannot talk about it anymore, or some.
I mean, like it's just like not really widely accepted anymore.
Google it.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
yeah,
can
it's-
Google it
yeah,
without
yeah.
going into this.
It passed by me, because it's kind of like
Yeah.
I saw them once live a long time ago, as I was in the United States, and yeah, and I kind of lost track because it's kind of the same again and again. It was cool, like I don't know, 20 years ago or something.
I do
but
Rob
now,
Zombie.
Yeah,
Rob Zombie.
I
Rob
was
Zombie
about
is
to
cool.
say
Yeah.
Rob
We could do
Zombie.
Rob Zombie now, and that'd be fucking sick. Like,
Oh god, that'll be like that would be a wet dream and a half, to be honest.
Yeah,
the
he
production
seems
as well.
seems like a
Amazing.
cool
One
dude.
sec.
Yeah. Also, I like that he dabbles into movies as well, so that's really cool. I really liked his movies as well. So, okay.
My cat's decided to join us.
Cool.
Meet Sauron.
Sauron,
Kitty
Sauron, like yeah. Ooh, I have
Lord
to be
of the
careful.
Rings.
I have to be careful. Yeah.
His destructive force.
So I think I'm through with all the things I wanted to know from you.
Cool.
So if you have like a closing statement for the people out there, you may. If not, be quiet. Or I don't know how you say when the vows at church, when the wedding vows, say your peace now, or I don't know how to say it. in
Forever
English.
hold your peace.
Or hold your peace, or hold your mouth forever. Shut the fuck up. No, I mean you want to say something or not?
I mean, as far as it goes, definitely go out, check the new single we put out, Yum. Just type in Gutter Puppets Yum. Also, all social medias are at Gutter Puppets. And what's the merch thing?
Oh, gutterpuppets.bigcartel.com.
I have
We
big
got
hotel.
a mask, we got t-shirts that we make ourselves, and if I may,
Oh.
model them, and that is pretty much it. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
Just
I mean,
Check it all
check-
out, basically.
oh,
'Cause we're here to stay
Spotify
now.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
check the
Spotify.
as
It's
well.
all just Gutter Puppet. Gutter
It's all
Puppet's
Gutter
everywhere.
Puppets. GUTTERPUTT.
No.
No, PP.
No. Sorry, he's still learning to
PP.
spell.
Yeah, I
No.
see. Okay, I'm the foreigner here. And I notice it. Anyway,
He's
you're
from
not the
Russia,
only
to be
one. I'm a
fair.
foreigner as well.
He's from Russia.
He's from Russia.
Yeah.
Я не понимаю. Меня зовут Tobias.
Я нихуя не понимаю тоже.
Oh, yeah, я не понимаю. Okay, yeah, I grew up in behind the Iron Curtain, so I'm a little bit older. So I grew up in Russian zone.
Oh,
Да, очень хорошо.
хорошо.
Cool. But you're from the UK.
Yeah.
We're
Lesser.
living in the UK, yeah.
I'm half English, half Scottish.
Half what?
Half Scottish, half
Scottish,
English, half Scottish.
Is the,
100% British beef.
maybe not. We're not going in there because I never really got. Yeah. No. Well, let's maybe avoid some things here. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So thank you very much for your time. It was a pleasure to get to know you. I hope we gathered a lot interest for the listeners to check you out.
I hope so.
And please, whenever you put out something new, hit me up. Like I said, I have a playlist and I have a radio show, and I like to support you.
I appreciate that, man.
Cheers,
We
man.
definitely will. And thank you.
If I
for
get
having
out
us.
to some Germany sometime
Yeah,
when the world reopens.
I mean, you
That'd be
should
nice.
be here. I mean, this is cool stuff, and Germans are sometimes cool people. Some of them. Anyway, thank you very much, and have a good evening. And talk to you hopefully soon again.
Yeah,
Thank you,
maybe
man.
by then
Cheers,
I'll
bro.
learn to spell gutter puppets as well.
Yeah, wait. I can spell it for you. GUTTERPUPPETS.
There we
I
You
got it,
forgot
I got it.
pee-pee, bro.
for some reason.
PP, you got PP.
Never forget the pee-pee.
I can't believe it.
But he
forgot
wanted the
PT.
TT. He wanted the TT. It's also I don't
I
mind.
don't blame him,
I
yeah.
don't mind the
Exactly.
TT. Yeah, it's a
There's
nice
things
nice
on the
thing too.
mind, you know.
Yeah, exactly. It's a Freudian slip. You say we would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep,
See.
that's the one.
Okay. Bye.